Hello and welcome to AVA30002 Integrated Safety Management Systems. My name is Matt. I'm the course convener and I'll be the tutor as well, or one of the tutors. You're actually going to have two this semester. My colleague Tony Power will be joining us. I'm taking on roughly about half of the lecturing load. We should both be in all of the workshop sessions, so I'm really looking forward to seeing you this semester. Obviously it's been a bit problematic over the last 18 months, last 3 semesters with lockdown. We haven't managed to spend much face-to-face time together, but this semester I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to stick with the program. And that program is that we'll be meeting every Tuesday morning for a workshop session of 1 hour. And the timing of that depends on which workshop you're signed into, so make sure that you are aware of the timetable slot you have committed to. And the only condition is that before you attend those workshops, you've reviewed all of the material in the preceding week. First workshop is just going to be an introduction icebreaker, so come along and we'll give you a bit of background on how the unit's going to work. So what's the unit all about? It's called Safety Management Systems, and I appreciate from the very start that might not be the most exciting subject. And it's often a comment of students going into this unit that they don't expect it to be particularly engaging or interesting information. However, I've made an entire career working in safety and I find it fascinating. And one of the things I'm really pleased at with this unit is consistently year on year, the feedback that we get back is how surprised students were about how actually interesting and engaged they were with the subject and how useful it was. So I'm hoping that you'll realise safety specifically in aviation is actually a very complex subject and also something that requires a lot of your deepest talents in the aviation sector in order to manage. The reason why it's so interesting in aviation is we're not just talking about small health and safety compliance matters. When you think about the aviation environment, one of its characteristics is that it's hazard rich. It's full of potentials for things to go wrong, yet we achieve ultra reliable operations, and contextualize that in the course. But what it means is we're actually really safe in our outcomes. We very rarely have anything go wrong. And if you couple those two things together, this immense complexity and the fact that we are so incredibly safe, it does beg the question, how do we do that? And the only reason we can do that is through a lot of active management and very sophisticated thinking and doing. And that's what you're going to learn in this course. Without that component, aviation would fall over, not just from a safety perspective, but commercially, because unless the industry is safe, people won't utilize it. People won't travel on aeroplanes. So it's a central component to everything that we do in aviation. And we're not just talking about the flight deck component here. We're not just talking about from a pilot's perspective. In fact, deliberately very little of this course is from a pilot's perspective. It's from a ground operations perspective. Both myself and Tony are not active commercial pilots, although Tony holds a piloting license. But we both come from different aspects of ground roles, and that's the perspective that we're going to use to teach you. So anyway, we'll introduce you in more detail to all of these components as we go through, but right now all you need to know is basically what's in the unit outline. So go and read the unit outline under the syllabus tab before we start, and what you'll note is there's 12 weeks of teaching there. It's a 12-week semester, but it's broken down into 6 modules, and all that means is that we've chunked the content a little bit just so it makes more sense. The one thing that's a bit unique about this course, we ran it last semester in this way, and it was really well received. We've tried to contextualize everything into a sort of scenario-based learning activity. So what does that mean? Well, you'll see from your assessments that your major assessment is a portfolio worth 80% of the total grade. And we will explain what portfolio means, but basically you are going to simulate being a safety manager for 12 weeks. And as you go through that role, you will complete small work-related tasks which will build up into your assessment. That does mean that there's a lot of assessment items. It might seem large from the very beginning. There are 8 individual assessment items. But don't panic too much. They're very small. Each one's only worth 10%, and we don't expect a huge volume from you. This is to sort of replicate the working environment, and very rarely in a sort of active safety management environment are you producing 3,000 word document reports? It will be a quick email to somebody, a very, very quick summarization of some data, or a quick one-pager report to update to brief a board meeting. So that's the sort of things we're going to be expecting you to do. We'll be very clear about the assessment deadlines and when they're due in, but there will be a few ongoing tasks to manage. If at all you have any problems, come and talk to myself or Tony, and we will always help you out. On that note, one thing that we're doing this semester that's slightly different to last semester is we are managing our communications in a slightly different way. So as always, if you've got a formal requirement about the course, the unit or the wider degree course that you're on, feel free to email me, preferably using the Canvas inbox system, because that'll separate your inquiry from any of the other sort of university administration or research emails that I get. It means I can respond to you much more quickly. But we have now, joining the 21st century, a Discord server, and you can thank Tony for that because he's the one that set it up. But we will post announcements, as always. Anything that's vital for the course will come through the Canvas announcements page. But we're very keen to sort of just start more general conversation in the background, because we're still going to be delivering a lot of the content online. So you'll only see us for an hour a week, face-to-face. The rest of the time there will be online materials, and in between them we sort of want to fill the gaps with a conversation if you need us, and that conversation will happen in a Discord channel, or a number of channels depending on what the topic is. There are some videos just below which Tony has put together to explain how that works and how the Discord server works. You'll need to download the software. Again, the videos will explain that. But if you have any issues doing that, I suggest you try doing it before the workshop in week 1. And come to us with any questions. It's not essential that you participate in the Discord server, but it will help you to get to know your fellow students, to get to know me and Tony, because we'll be on there all the time, almost a lot of the time, should I say. I don't say they're 24/7 waiting for information, but it helps you to contact us and for us to be more responsive to your questions. Anyway. We'll provide more details as we go through. For now, look at the unit outline, look at the assessment activities under the assessment tab, and be ready, having read all of the materials or watched all the videos in the week 1 tab before you come to the workshop on Tuesday, and I'll see you there.